thrusted upon you a lot of people's issues, a lot of the things that people have going on, right? They come to you with all the tragic things that are going on in their life, the circumstances that are negative that are going on in their life. And I'm sure some of them get better. Some of them don't get better. So, and that might be circumstantial. That might be because people do or don't do certain things or whatnot. How do you handle the emotional, maybe turmoil that comes with being thrusted upon with all of these emotional circumstances that other people are coming to you about?
Right, such a great point. Is I had to realize, in coaching and counseling, there is sort of this off the wall phrase that just says, "You own your own stuff." Now, another word for stuff, but I'll keep it PG. You own your own
Yeah, yeah.
stuff, and so I had to learn that because I used to carry all of that as a person, as a leader. Growing up. My mom, amazing. She's amazing. She's my biggest fan to this day. After every message, every big thing we do, she'll send me a text. That was amazing. You're great. She's such an encourager. But I watched my mother through the hands of my stepfather be abused. He was a womanizer. He was an abuser. You looked at a lot of what he did, and he was just simply not the kind of man you want to be. But it's what I beheld. And so as a result of that, I became very parentified in the sense that I felt like I had to protect my brothers and sisters. I had to protect my mother. So there was a lot of things that I would not do because I felt like, I got to, think like a father. So as a kid, I'm thinking like a father. That trait goes throughout life. And early on as a pastor, I carried that. And that actually showed up in my physical fitness and my physical body. I ballooned to like 250. I'm 5'9". I was like 250. Now I carried it like a middle linebacker. So it didn't look that bad. It didn't look horrible. But and so I carried a lot of that. So I took personal parental responsibility for grown people's lives and grown people's actions. And so it's actually when I began to shed the weight, which was 2013, and when I began to shed the weight, I recognized the correlation between my weight gain and emotional eating as well as carrying people's issues. So to your point, how do I not do that? That was that breaking point for me that made
Mm.
me realize you cannot carry the issues of other people. You are not their God. You're not their Jesus. You get off that cross. That's not your responsibility. My only responsibility is to point them to solutions, not be the solution, to get them to the answers, not be the answer. And when I made that shift, oh man, it changed everything about my physical health, my mental health, my spiritual health to where I'm very cognizant of the fact that I am not responsible for other people's actions.
Mm, that's so good. I mean, me as a coach who has a lot of clients that I work with, I try to remind myself of that regularly, and sometimes I'm somebody who, like you, probably wants wants to take on the responsibility for my own life so much, and therefore like I try to take on responsibility for other people's results so much, and I think that's helpful because it puts you in a place of service to really help, but at the end of the day you got to remember that you own your own stuff and they have to own their own stuff, and just like you said, you can point them in the right direction, but you can't necessarily be the solution in and of yourself.
No, you really can't. And it's a freedom when you recognize that too.
Yeah.
Because I used to take personal responsibility when people would fail or not do well or something would happen or what have you. And I realized like, that's just not first of all, it's not even practical. And here's the saying that changed my life in terms of how I view that is that I can't set myself on fire to keep everybody else warm.
Mm.
And once I recognized that, it was very simple for me to just say that, well, here's what I suggest you do, and here's how, I'm, point you in the right direction. But at the end of the day, you're going to do what you want to do, and people will. They're going to do what they want to do. And what you do as a trainer, and what I do for as the coaching and leading and pastor and all of the different things that I do